Hello folks, this is John again and welcome back to Mixing Cage from start to finish. Right now I think we are about 80% there, and from here on out it's rather finer tweaks as we go through the song, and I still need to take care here of these lo-fi tracks in the intro and do some master bus stuff to spice things up a little bit. So, for starters, I just want to quickly take care of these tracks, so why don't we check that out? Let's solo them. So they are pretty much just bounces from the kick and snare. Let's see, since they are called lo-fi, why don't we give them some lo-fi EQing? For example, you know what, let me just do it like I did on the original real quick. So on the kick, I want to have this kind of low thump going on. Yeah, and then on the snare, kind of want to have a top range crack. Wait, let's loop this. Now on the snare, what I did is I took this, where is it? Nasty delay. It's a free delay. I think I used this one. Perhaps I did something a little bit different here with the delay times. And where's my feedback? Okay, it's not exactly what I did in the original, but still sounds cool. Let's try something else here. That sounds more like what I did on the original. But let's keep this one side to the dotted fourth. That kind of sounds a little bit nicer. What I like about this delay, you can really let all of this delay just build up and it becomes crazier and crazier over time. But of course, at some point, this will just go on without end. So you also need to automate the bypass, that it actually stops at some point. So let's take this bypass. Wait, let's turn it on, and then let's move it down here to the snare, and then make it turn off right when the song hits. Okay, so it won't be a problem. And now I want to have some kind of big reverb on there as well. On both of them, actually. Intro, amp, verb, I don't know, something around those lines. And put it like this, and like this, and like this. Big holes. Let's try a big hole. Here, this the large hole. I kind of like this one. Okay, let's turn down the dry in here. We only want to have the reverb because it's in parallel. And now another EQ to filter out all that rumbly low end. For this I'm going to need my headphones again to make sure this is at a good level. Okay, let's see what it sounds like now here in the mix. Okay, you notice all that rumbly low end here on the reverb is much stronger than when we go into the song. So we want to watch out that it doesn't actually sound stronger than the song itself. Okay, I kind of want to move this bypass to go here on the last snare hit. So after the last snare hit, the delay stops, which gives us a little bit of a gap here, which then makes the hit here into the song a little bit harder by comparison. Okay, and I want to automate the volume of the reverb. So let's put it like this. Intro, verb. Like this and like this, kind of. Yeah, I like that better. And perhaps... hang on. Yeah, something around those lines. Now I'm noticing I still need to work on my low end a little bit. Okay, now let's take a compressor and put it on the low end channel of the bass, and we're gonna turn that to sidechain, and we're going to trigger it with the kick drum. Come on, and it's down here. Let's put a pre-fader. Okay, and for side chaining like this, I like to use a very shallow ratio because now it doesn't really matter how hard the kick hits, whether it's up here with its peak or down here with its peak. It doesn't make that big of a difference in the gain reduction that's happening on the low end of the bass. And that's what I want. I want that gain reduction to be a bit more consistent. Okay, and now I think, now that I have this compressor going, perhaps we can ease up here in our filtering on the bass. And just really take out some very low-end rumbly noise that we don't need. Perhaps also on the kick, I kind of want to have that sub-range a little bit richer. Okay, let's leave that at that for now. Now I wanna do some here, some console and tape emulation on my guitars. Let's take out the EQs for now again. I really like how this one at the 7.5 inch per round speed really takes care of that top range in a very nice way. Now, and also with the S4000 console, the mid-range kind of gets a little bit nicer. And so now here with the filter, actually do we need it at all? Well, for good measure, let's keep it at about 10K, something around those lines. Okay, let's put the same one also on our other tracks. Over here. And I'm hearing a little bit of harsh resonance in here. Let's check that out. Okay. Now over here. Okay, we also need some resonance cutting over here. Okay.
Serving the masses disease. Oh, we're getting loose. Then we will be completely unstoppable. Oh, just wait. The time is coming soon for us to break out of this cage.
Okay, and now I also needed to give the kick a bit more of a mid-range click to cut through a little bit better, but I didn't want to make that kick too high in frequency, because then it would feel a little bit disconnected to the rest of the mix again. It would be piercing out too much. But keeping that click a little bit here in that upper mid-range, around 2 to 3K, it kind of fits better to the rest of the mix that's kind of more mid-range focused, really. But now I'm still thinking that the drums could benefit from something a little bit more. Let me try out my trusty parallel drum processing trick. Wait, let's try this out. Let's put this in here, put this pre-fader. Yeah, I really like this EQ. It came with a PreSonus Studio 68. It's just high shelf and low shelf boosters, nothing more really. But putting this to 40K and here this to its sub frequency and boosting those, wow, it sounds so cool. And now I want to give this some heavy-handed compression. Let's go with the 1176 again, with the blue one. Yeah, something like this. It adds a lot of punch and some grit to the drums, and a slightly slower release to give it a little bit of a groovy punch to it, but not too much that it becomes a problem. Now, of course, we have some very high peaks because of that heavy-handed compression. Let's see if we can tame that with the limiter, or if we should rather use a clipper. Nah, this still works. Usually I don't like to use this limiter on drums because it kind of sucks out the punch. But it still works here, so let's stick with that. Now we need to fade that in. Usually I'll just like to lower my drum bus by about 2 dB and now fade in this other one until I get to the same level as before again. Okay, and now the drums have a bit more oomph and a bit more excitement to them. But now, of course, I need to check the low end again and make sure it didn't get all over the place. Ah, this actually turned out pretty good. You notice with this kind of approach, the drums get very punchy, and also the cymbals come up quite a bit in volume, so you need to watch out with your overhead and room volume balance. So you may need to adjust those again afterwards.
I'm running out of breath. I'm running out of steam. I'm running out of space as I pace back and forth in this blend.
Okay, now I want to try doing some stuff on my main channel. First on saturation again. Now we don't need the mic preamp on here. Let's give it again a console simulation, and here on tape speed I want to go high because I want this to be high def or high fidelity. Ah, wait, let's do this differently. Let's turn off the tape in here and just use the console. Yeah, I really like how this one kind of pulls stuff together a little bit. The mid-range sounds a little bit richer and the top range a little bit more equalized, I kind of want to say. Like, you notice it in the snare. The top range crack doesn't crack through too much. Just adjusting that with the EQ move may not really work. So this kind of coloring and saturation is kind of what I needed here. Okay, now a tiny bit of dynamics. Let's just go with the 1176 again for good measure. And here I just wanted to touch the compressor a little bit. Okay, and now I want to get a tape emulation in there. For this I like to use the Slate virtual tape machine. So this is set to this one. Okay. And of course this one excites the low end quite a bit, so let's check that out. Okay, now this may actually be too much. We may not even need this one. Okay, let's just keep that at that for now. Okay, and now I still want to give it some EQ. Which one should I use for this kind of move? Yeah, let's just get the gem EQ, see how this one works. I want to take care of those lower mids. Perhaps we need to use this band. Okay, now just a quick EQ move on my guitars. Let's see here. Yeah, hang on. Now I want to use the gem EQ again. Let's turn a high filter on and give it a bit more brightness. Now, just know I'm not counteracting the filtering that's happening here in the tape desk. This is a very broad and gentle EQ that's happening here that's brightening everything up. Okay, let's keep it at that for today. Next time, really need to take care of the guitars. Perhaps I even need to go back and dial in the tone a little bit differently. Right now, it's not really fitting into the mix as I wanted to. But yeah, we'll check that out next time. And I shall see you then.